Hello everyone. I hope and pray that you're doing well. I'm here at the cemetery. I participated in a few memorials recently, and I find memorials to be this fine balance between grieving the loss of a loved one on the one hand and celebrating God's gift of their life on the other hand. Years ago, I helped with a memorial service for somebody who was in their late 70s, and to me, shockingly, their spouse said to me that they had never, ever attended a funeral service before. They'd never been to one. They were in their 70s. As a result, it became clear to me how ill-prepared they were to organize the memorial service for their spouse. But even more, how ill-prepared they were for grief. So this is me as a pastor encouraging you that when you can, attend a memorial service. And even more so, attend to your grief. I mean, attend the memorial service for all the right reasons, all the good reasons, for respect and support and love and honor and hope and grief and gratitude, and attend to your grief for all these very same reasons. Thomas Lynch, this book, The Undertaking, Life Studies from the Dismal Trade. Thomas Lynch is a small town Michigan funeral director, and he writes this book and he wrestles to talk about and show the importance of grief. And he writes this: I think maybe Gladstone had it right, and he also talks about his father getting it right. They understood that the meaning of life is connected inextricably to the meaning of death. That mourning is a romance in reverse, and if you love, you grieve, and there are no exceptions. Only those who do it well and those who don't. And if you take nothing else away from this little talk, that line, mourning is romance in reverse. And Lynch points out elsewhere that grief is the price that we pay for being close to one another. If we want to avoid our grief, we simply avoid each other. The sad truth I've been taught by the families of the dead are these, he writes, seeing is believing, knowing is better than not knowing, to name the hurt returns a kind of comfort, the grief ignored will never go away. The solution isn't to avoid each other. And the solution isn't to avoid grief any more than it is to avoid attending memorial services. I so appreciate memorial services where family and friends are able to honor the deceased and all those who attend by sharing a snapshot of their grief and their gratitude. This morning I sent the link to my grandmother's, my 133-year-old grandmother's Surrey memorial service. I sent the link to my children, my kids who are far away, like in Ontario, etc. And I'm grateful for technology that I can send them the link to their great-grandmother's memorial service. And I hope that they hear the stories of Grandma through the words of my dad and my sisters and my cousins and my uncle and my aunt. I hope they can hear and see the gratitude and the grief. For me, it always really helps to frame a memorial service and the life and death of our loved one with passages in the scriptures that announce the Christian meaning of life and death. Very important. But it's also important to acknowledge that memorial services themselves are a starting point, a building block for grief and gratitude. Thomas Lynch, I'll give him the last word. He says this: there's no easy way to do this, so do it right. Weep, laugh, watch, pray, love, live, give thanks and praise, comfort, mend, honor, and remember. The peace of Christ be with you all.